What up? It's your man CJ, aka the High Value Nurse, checking in once again. Just getting off work. Day number, is it 6? I think tomorrow will be day number 7. So it was a good night. I had 2 calls last night. It was straight. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, you saw the title. This is a guaranteed way for LPNs, RNs, CNAs, other medical professionals to become millionaires. And I say those through, well, I say LPN, RN, CNA specifically because obviously when you advance, you get more money, and but not everybody wants to advance. And I'm really trying to talk to those people, but everybody can listen. Everybody can listen and take something from it, even if you're not in the medical field. But I'm talking to y'all. This is a guaranteed way for those people that are interested in becoming millionaires, can become millionaires, and this is without trading, without stocks, without high yield savings account, without all that, just straight income from your job. Now listen, before y'all say you should make your money work for you, I know that. And I'm not gonna say, well, everybody should know that, and any smart person should know that, but we know that is established. But I'm simply talking how you can have $1 million straight from your income, not by compound interest and making the money work for you, straight from your income. Okay. And it all starts with $1. Now, y'all remember a few years ago, people were doing them envelope challenges, and it was like real big on social media, but then it kind of fizzled out. And maybe it's still a thing. But they had the 100-day challenge, and they had the 30-day challenge and everything like that. And the challenge was pretty much that you take $1, you put it in, you take $2 the next day, you put it in, you take $3 the next day, you put it in, you take $4, and so on and so forth. And I just thought about that last night, and I was like, at first I was like, oh, that's kind of, whatever. But then I started to think. I said, wow, the more I thought about it, that's actually pretty smart. And then I started to play with some other numbers because, people gonna say, well, I got this going on. I can't do this because I only have that. And I can't do that because I only have this. And I can't do that because I have kids and a family. I understand that everybody has certain situations going on, but I can't help that. That is for you to figure out. I can only speak about my situation. But if you are in a situation similar to me, then this is how you do it the long way. Now, this is the long way. This is out the mud. You dig what I'm saying? And it's more than one ways to get to $1 million. Before y'all come in and say, well, I did it in this amount of time. I know I got a whole bunch of millionaires on this channel. It's more than one way. I know that. So y'all can save all that. This is for the people who didn't know. So anyway, with that challenge, with $1, right, in the envelope, if you did that for 365 days, which some of y'all may know, you will have $66,795 and I think 75 cents. I think. And I said, wow, okay, in a year. Not saying that it's easy. Not saying that it's something that, everybody, I know it can be very difficult. I know that. But if it's done, you will have $66,795 at the end of the year. And I said, well, what if I had a penny? What if I wanted to do that same method that I just mentioned with a penny? And if you did it with a penny, you would get $667.95 at the end of the year, just by simply stacking pennies. That's crazy. That's literally, you could go on a cruise for $600. There's a lot of things you could do with $600, almost $700, just from putting away your pennies. A lot of y'all got a bunch of pennies in your car. So I said, let me step it up. What if you did a nickel? If you did a nickel, it will be $3,339.75. Okay. If you did a dime, that would be $6,679.50. Okay. That's sounding cool. And this is just all from doing that method. from saving with your pennies, nickels, and dimes. If you did it with quarters, you're looking at $16,698.75. And I said, okay, now we talking. Then with the dollars, I told you, $66,795, and I think 75 cents. I'm pretty sure it's 75 cents, but let me double check. Yeah, I think it's 75 cents. But anyway, and I know somebody gonna correct me if I'm wrong. But anyway, and I was like, okay, well, let's start to multiply, because again, I just wanted to see the numbers. I just want to see what would happen if you took that $66,000 and you did that repeatedly over time. I said, I wanted to have the option to retire in 5 years. So I said, look, let me take my $66,795 and see what happens if I did that for 5 years straight. And the numbers I got was $333,975. Bet. So I said, well, what would happen if I did it for 15? If I did that method for 15 years, you would get $1,001,925. $1,001,925. Right there. Now, again, I know some of y'all gonna say that's the long way. I know some of y'all gonna say, well, you would get it faster if you put it in a savings, in a high yield savings account. I get that. But the reason that I'm putting this out is because knowing that you can stack $1 million and it's within reach, you don't know what kind of mind shift that can do to somebody. Knowing that you could work really hard for years and really have something to show for it if you are disciplined and have a wealth building mindset. For example, can you imagine if somebody is 18 years old and they did that method for 15 years? They will have $1 million by the time they're 32 years old. $1 million. That is mind-blowing. You graduate from school, you get your LPN, you graduate, you apply that method. By the time you're 32, you hitting you millionaire in America. You dig what I'm saying? And that's crazy when I sat back and I thought about it. And is it easy? No. But if you did that method, I'm pretty sure you're going to hit $1 million way before that, because you're probably going to invest and you're probably going to put it in the S&Ps and ETFs, and you're going to put it in a high yield savings account. But I'm just talking about the blueprint straight. If you did that method, there you go. And I know people got things going on. I know it'll be hard for a lot of people to do, but I'm just putting it out there just so people can know that it's possible. Because now it got my mind shifting. Like, okay, having $1 million is possible if you just put your head down and just put some away there, put some away there, put some away there. And then I thought about all the money that I've blown over the years. So it just really it really took me somewhere else when I seen that. And I know that method is not new, but how many people can do that? How many people are doing that or are even attempting to do it? And I'm not saying you have to do this in a year, but what I am saying is that your boy gonna try. Your boy's gonna try. Here's one, day one. $1. You dig what I'm saying? You could become a millionaire starting with $1. You dig? Bam. And I said, you know what? Just to make it a little interesting, I said, how about I do a quarter too while I'm thinking about it? Because I don't lose either way after a year if I stay consistent. So either I'm gonna have close to $17,000 or I'm gonna have $66,000, $66,795. So either way, I'm not losing. Either way. And y'all can do it with pennies, nickels, whatever you choose, but just do it. You know, and like I said, we know about all the other stuff, but this is for the people who may not know. And this is for the people that want to grow and want to build discipline and everything like that. It's because it does something to see your money grow. You dig? So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, my name is CJ. And if you want to participate, do it. Because we all got to start from somewhere. Anyway, hit that like button, subscription button, notification bell, and I'll holler at y'all in a minute. Peace.